We have rich men only because we have poor men. And the poor should have been rewarded by the rich. Good morning. Subahul khair. Bonjour. Kwal lafia. Ẹ káàárọ̀. Mimomwashi. Daswa. Ansuma. You're welcome to a fresh episode, like I always say. And again, another apology. It concerns the episode before the last one, where I mentioned alongside Kofi Mona's results, Dr. Eliasori's too. There was an error there. I knew his grades rather to be 3 A's. He didn't get A in general paper. And it was the grade, he had the same grade with me in general paper. So general paper, there was no A, they were 3. But then I spoke to him afterwards, and it looks like he didn't want to agree with that either. But I believe he doesn't want publicity. And therefore, I again have to apologize to him. Like I say, we are good friends and good schoolmates. We cannot fight. There's nothing about it. We have an appellation for each other. So GMB, I apologize. If you want to know the meaning of GMB, send down $100 and I'll tell you. It's a childhood joke. Okay. I don't know if I've forgotten another thing. Well, if even I've forgotten, there is still another video. We're going to continue with the last sentence. Let's see. I had hidden my Nigerian passport with a good Nigerian friend, Malam Kariba, who was in fact much older than I was. And I said something about Malam Garba. Anytime I'm passing by him, he wants to talk. He go call me to come and talk. When I tell him time is against me, he gets angry. Go. But I have to go. That is the way houses in Sokoto speak. Those in Kano will say tefi, and that's what Ghanaians know, tefi. But the true Sokoto people will never say tefi, they say tehi. We had a classmate called S.A. Mohammed, who was he was on special diet in school, and he used to use that word tehi. We find it funny. It's not funny. That's their language, please. And if you go there and you say tefi, you look funny to them. At breakfast, when the tea is off before us, S.A. Muhammad would usually comment, Alado Tina Zahi, Alado Tina Zahi, Alado Tina Zahi, everything, Alado Tina Zahi. Translated properly, it means, in fact, the tea is hot. So Zahi and Tahi. Oh my God, it's nice to be young. Like I say, sometimes with one of those things, you can be a child sometimes. I don't think there's much wrong with it. We human beings will find something wrong with it. God is a forgiver. He forgives everybody their sins. Otherwise, no single soul would go to heaven or would remain on earth. Yes, that's Quranic. That's in the Quran. No single soul would remain on earth if we are not forgiving people. So, let's continue. Namshi. After I had returned to Ghana in 1992, I learned he died. Yes, Malangera, I learned he died. May God bless his soul. May God be happy with him. Mm. So my playing here notwithstanding, when it gets to serious matters, will be serious. May God bless his soul. Uh, my passport still with him. Yes, he died. My passport still with him. My journey, my journey was to take me to the Republic of Niger. Yes, through Sokoto in Nigeria. From Nigeria, I would go to Algeria, to Libya, to Algeria, then to Libya. The Nigerian immigration officials on the way were rather wild, I may say. They were on the look. They were on the lookout for Ghanaians, in particular, either to, either to extort money from them or turn them back on turn them back or both. So either they will get money from you and let you cross, or get money from you and let you make a U-turn back to Nigeria instead of trying to exit Nigeria when you thought the economy was getting bad. Who be you? You come and enjoy our wealth, and when you see that, and then you say you want to go out of Nigeria. No. Hmm? I don't know whether it's envy or what. I don't know. Hmm? Okay. I don't know, but they seem to be angry at us for wanting to leave after the economy was no longer rosy. That was around the time the economy was going bad. Hmm? Okay. My Ghana passport had to be hidden by, by, by Nigerian drivers on almost every journey. I've said it before. I say we are brothers. Hmm? They help me. Hmm? And when they're here, I know Ghanaians are also helping them. We forget about uh, the inflictions we place on each other during the compliance orders, the two compliance orders. Human beings are human beings. You can't go to French speaking country to get help because you can't even speak French and they can't speak French. So the only nearest country is Nigeria, good old Nigeria. This is Lagos. Hmm? Okay, on almost to be hidden in Nigeria by Nigerian drivers, hmm, almost every journey, then handed to me at each destination. So when I'm going, they say, passport, they say, could bring a passport, they will hide it. So to show that I'm a Nigerian pass. So you see, if somebody is bad, he's also guilt. Mm? If I'm quoting from the Quran, سبحان الذي خلق الأصنام من كل شيء سبحان الذي خلق من كل شيء زوجين. He made everything in pairs. Sorry if I haven't quoted it well. Or he said, it says, من كل شيء خلقنا زوجين. من كل شيء خلقنا زوجين. من كل شيء خلقنا زوجين. Of everything we created in pairs. Then the other one is Subhanallah. سبحان الذي خلق أزواجا كلها من تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم أفلا تعقلون. Similar. Of everything we created in pairs, including man himself. سبحان الذي خلق أزواجا كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم أفلا تعقلون. Don't you know? Of everything on earth we created twice, including mankind himself. uh, and what he doesn't know, min kulli shay'in, wa mimma la ya'lamun, and everything that you don't know. Afala Takilun, don't you reason? So he created everything in pairs. If a Nigerian dislikes you, a Nigerian will like you. And back here, if a Ghanaian dislikes you, a Ghanaian will like you. So that is how God has created things to balance the world. That is the mercy of God on us, which we don't think of, which he says, Afala Takilun, don't you reflect? So they helped me with my passport. Of course, they were doing it because of their money. But even then, they could collect my money and let me go. So I'm sorry, pardon me for that. That's another error. They could have collected my money and say, okay, Kanaman, oh yeah, come out. Okay. Then handed me at each destination. Then handed to me at each destination. I had to pretend to be Nigerian, though my accent was a negating factor. Yes, if you are Nigerian, if you are Ghanaian and you are in Nigeria, there's no way people will identify you. Mm. The moment you start to speak, you say no. And likewise, if you are Nigerian and you are in Ghana, people will identify you, except you stay here for a long time. That's in Nigeria to accept you stay for quite some time there. Okay. Uh, what is this? Okay. I started alone for Lagos. So it was a one-man journey. I alone, without anybody. I just decided I'm crossing over to the desert, to Libya. Me alone. I started alone. That was an adventure. I was young by then, and I didn't. You didn't reason much. You just get up, you see something, and then you want to do it. Something in your mind, and you say you must achieve it. I alone, without anybody. I started alone. So you see, when you die alone, people may not know. I started alone from Lagos straight to Sokoto through Ibadan, then to Ilela, a border town, and then into Niger, into Niger, yes, in Niger, sorry, into Niger, to Niger, in a village called Tawa. I explained Tawa before in my previous episode. And Tawa is, I believe, is a word from the Quran. And the chapter is called Taha, Taha, relating to the Prophet Muhammad. So that town, I believe, was named after that chapter, Tawa. Taha. Okay. From Tawa, I boarded another car going to Agadez. This time, however, I had met with other travelers. Sometimes, somehow, one had to wait a day or two before one could continue with the journey. Full stop. Before you continue, you might have to wait a day or two because the cars don't ply that the desert all the day. You wait until a car comes from the opposite side, then you can go. Or you wait until they get a guide. We call them guide, a guide to take you, the group, through the desert. One had to wait a day or two before one could continue with the journey. The weather in Niger was extremely hot. The breeze itself was hot. Yes, it's not only in Niger, even in northern Ghana, the breeze can be hot. And the temperature can rise up to 42 degrees Celsius. Before sitting under a stand tree, dirty water had to be poured on the ground to cool it a bit. You can imagine. Like you manage to do some washing, you just don't throw the water away anyhow like we do. You have to take it to where you sit under a tree, pour it there. Because you know you will sit there. So you see, even dirty water had used in those areas, pardon me. I saw it being done. Dirty water had to be poured on the ground to cool it a bit. Why dirty water? You will foolish to go and fetch clean water to pour on the ground because you want to sit when water is cast there. So dirty water. Mm. Uh, at Agadis, we bought some gari and other foodstuff or other foodstuffs. I had some boiled eggs with me. I believed that would act as a source of protein on the way. Mm. I also had a lot of antibiotics. I'm going American again. Mm. I love them. They don't say antibiotics. They say antibiotics. So I had a lot of antibiotic capsules with me. Before leaving Lagos, I had to enjoy myself with a beautiful girl. Full stop. Sorry to mention that I'm now a religious man, but now you don't sleep without marrying, and it has kept me safe and celibate for a long time. But before I didn't care. I suspected straight. No, I suspected she might be carrying the commonest infection at the time, which was gonorrhea. Mm. Uh, we were driven from Agadez through the desert on a sandy road right into Algeria, though without any clearly manned border. Yes. We got to an unmotorable place, which was rather rocky. So when we get to that place, the car cannot go. There's no road there. Mm. Even though there is road elsewhere for people who are crossing legally, but it was rocky place, which was rather rocky. The driver made us alight and pointed to a place across. We were 50, we were 52 in number. That's from one person to 52. Mm. We were 52 in number, mostly Ghanaians, though some pretending to be Nigerians. There was no girl in our group, and that was a big advantage. It is God who protects mankind. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. Uh, he is the best disposer. Mm. Uh, Hasbunallahu, I rely on God, who is the disposer of affairs. Uh, is that the right interpretation? Okay, if I remember, I would say it, but I think that is it. Uh, we climbed the rocks and walked a short distance, and lo, we beheld a garden with people. The place was Jenin. Jenin. Uh, I think Jenin means garden, though in French or in Arabic, then franchised. Jannat. The proper word in Arabic is Jannat. But then Janet, I think the French then called it Jenin. I suppose this was the name of a nearby village. Yes, we couldn't see the village, but if there is a garden, then there should be a village nearby or a residential area nearby. I think so. We were made to fill our we were made to feel at home. Yes, we were made to feel at home. Then a guard was arranged for us each. We had to pay some money, a specified amount to him. We had changed our currencies. When you get to anybody, you change your currencies. You see why I say God is the protector? Because when there are girls among us, the group is not safe. Mm. Robbers might attack you and seize your money because of the girls and sleep with them. So you see, can women and men be equal? No. So that is when I realized that I was lucky. The women among us, they were arranged. Even the gate himself might do it or call people, inform people. It's their place. They can detain us for as long as they like and then go around and inform people. Those days, there were no telephones. Oh, there is a group of 52 people, 9 women inside. They say, okay, we'll see. But in our case, there was nothing like that. We went smoothly. Subsequently, these things had happened and people died. Oh, I will tell you, if I don't forget, I will tell you a story which I heard sometimes on radio, Ghana, I think Ochinoko's radio. Uh, some money, a specified amount to him. This we did, and then we also got our gallons filled with water and got some more food. Others had other small luggages with them, which were mostly thrown away later due to fatigue and inconvenience. Yes, that was the desert. We walked later for 4 nights and 3 days in the desert into Libya. On the way, you are hungry. Even hunger, we weren't feeling it. We are thirsty. The hunger, we weren't feeling it because our intestinal walls collapse on each other, like the upper wall here and the down wall merge, come together. So the hunger, you wouldn't feel it anymore. And so you had to throw away your luggage, bags, shoes, whatnot. So many things in the desert there. You can't carry it. You can't carry them, your luggages. You can't. Even you yourself. So many things were thrown away. Otherwise, you won't make it. And even some of us had to carry some of our own selves. Because and you can't go again. And the slim people can walk. You must respect them. Fat people, some people they can walk. See slim man carrying somebody on the path to climb a mountain because he's tired. Huh? I was average. We will move. I was among the front people, not the first, but I was among them. When we are going, those at the back. You climb the mountain, you see them small, looking small, and they're shouting for help. They can't go. We should wait for them. We wait. Some people who were stronger than me would go and carry them and bring them. But even before they reach us, we start going again. Okay. And got some more food, filled with water, and got some more food. Others had other small luggages, with which were mostly thrown away, yes, thrown away later due to fatigue and inconvenience. The most difficult part of the journey was to begin, yes. That was on a Friday afternoon, Nigerian time, and it was to be all on foot. Okay, I continue the story on 29th March. I wrote the date here. As continue 29th March. Uh, I don't know if that's 89, I think so. On foot. If walking with a guard in so sorry. Uh, it could have been, it could have been 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Yes, that's when we took off. It could have been 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Nigerian time. We started walking with the guard in front of us. We walked till about 11 p.m. by my guess. Of course, we didn't have watches. We slept. We slept in the open. We slept in the open desert till about 5 a.m. So 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. We slept in the open desert till about 5 a.m. and the work started again. Full stop. We would walk until so many people were left behind. Then this signaled a time to rest. Yes. So when people are left behind, then we have to wait for them. And therefore, they were giving us rest, but they never had rest. Because when they get to us, we start again. So this signaled a time to rest. The unfortunate thing was that the slow walkers hardly had any rest because by the time they would catch up with us, it was time to start again. I was never the first person in the walk, but quite close to him. Yes, I remember he was a slim man. I was watching him. But quite close to him. I was among the first 5 people or so. Yes, I was among the first 5 people or so. Uh, it was not easy. We had to walk on a rocky ground, sometimes climbing mountains and descending steep rocky valleys. If one was not careful, one could very easily tip over and tip over and fall to death. I don't know if it's fall or not. Okay. Tip over and crash. Sorry, and crash to death. Yes, and crash to death. Uh, as I read, I had to get out of the room several times to watch the eclipse of the sun. Was it in the desert? Could this have been in the desert? Anyway, viewers can guess what was happening. And I remember I'll tell you, God willing. Crash to death. Then, as I read, I had to get out of the room several times to watch the eclipse of the sun. Eclipse of the sun using a sunshade. There was eclipse of the sun at the time that I was writing. People can remember when that eclipse happened in those days, that year. Using a sunshade and also on television. I think I was back home also. I think so. And also on television. The place, okay. The place is Konongo Odumasi Government Hospital. Okay. The place is Konongo Odumasi Government Hospital. I'll come to my story there later, God willing. Uh, time is there. Time 8:20 to 9:20 a.m. Okay. I believe the date is also there. Time 8:20 to 9:20 a.m. Oh yes, back to the desert. I think I just broke to. I paused only to mention that there was an eclipse at that time. I can't quite remember the year now. that is easy for viewers to figure out. Uh, oh, yes, back to the desert. Anytime that we got down to rest, day or night, it was horrible experience. We could hardly walk. Yes, we could hardly walk because we could hardly walk except drag ourselves on our buttocks. Yes, you can't walk. Your feet had swollen terribly. Mm. Walk on our buttocks. So you use your two hands on the ground and then pull yourself sit, pull yourself sit. So we can call it sitting walking, if you like. Our legs got swollen, yes, yet the journey had to be continued. We could start we would start limping slowly. We would start limping slowly. We would start limping slowly, and somehow we would get used to it again. I would then imagine that people with swollen legs at home and in hospitals could actually run if necessary. Yes. You could see that your foot is swollen or your feet are swollen. You could see them. But what do? You have to go. You have to walk on the swollen feet. Otherwise, you'll be left behind. So you have to start slowly, forcefully and slowly. Let me say that forcefully and slowly. And you get used to it again. Then you can now walk briskly again like a soldier. My classmate used to say, come on, look at them marching as a kangaroos. Come on, march as a soldiers. Okay. Uh, Pardon me for digressing. Uh, I would then imagine that people with swollen legs at home and in hospitals could actually run if necessary. Drop a bomb, they will get most of them will get up, except those in coma or on the life support. Mm. We we come by water. Sorry, we came by water twice. One, a small source in the rocks. The second, a deeper source. People say there's no water in the desert. There is. God is not unmindful of our safety. There's water in the desert at various places. Mm. And one of them, when you fetch the water, you think it's in the fridge, it's from the fridge. Very, very, very cool. Mm. Okay. Uh, we had earlier come across wells, yes, apart from the two sources. We had earlier come across wells that hardly had any water and yet extremely deep. So if you have to make a well in the desert, you know it's not going to be a matter of few feet. It has to go far down below to carry it. Okay. The deeper source of water was fascinating and frightening, yes, at the same time. Hmm? Is it at the same time? Yes, at the same time. It was under what seemed to be like 15-story building. Yes. You stand up and it's a rock. You look up like that. This is the top, like a story building. Like a 15-story building. I hope I'm not exaggerating. I wish I could go back to see it. But was all rock. It looks like a 15-story building, but was all rock. We even told, no, we were told the depth of it was probably more than the height. So when you sit there and look at it like 15-story, then we were told that even under, it's probably more deeper than the height. So in other words, combining the two, the length from beneath to the peak of the rock could be about more than 30-story buildings. Very deep. The water was cold, as if refrigerated. The place was slippery, and we were warned about it. Very, 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 very dangerous. The water is there, you can see the water. But if you're not careful, you will slip into it, and that will be your end. Finish, kaput, at once. We were warned about it. A passport had been retrieved from it. The owner had slipped and got drowned in it. I don't know whether the passport fell down before he slipped or something like that. I don't know. The same could happen to any one of us. Oh, let me digress a bit again. The solar eclipse had the solar eclipse has made the attendance to the hospital extremely poor. Okay, I'm going backward to Konongo. The solar eclipse had made the attendance to the hospital extremely poor. Almost all the working staff came out to wash, with a few patients, relations, and other visitors. We had a number of sunshades at hand, luckily. 5 days back on Friday, March 20th, March 24th, 2006. I think that was the day of the eclipse. Either the day or around that day. We had a number of sunshades at hand, luckily. Full stop. 5 days back, uh-huh, 5 days back on Friday, March 25, 2006, a patient on which had to do a patient on which I can't pardon me, viewers, on which I had to do a sputum test for AFB. I don't know where this comes in, but anyway, viewers, that's what I've written down. He could hardly walk. He could hardly walk. I'm going back to the desert. No, 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 no. He could hardly walk. His age was given as 149 years. A Sicilian man who was said to live the during the reign of Prempe the First. I can't actually figure out where this sentence is coming from. But viewers, pardon me, let's take it that way. We might get to it later, maybe. His name was given as Isifu Batol. As Isifu Batol. Okay, there was something like a bracket. I had marked that place with red ink, and the beginning and the end. And the beginning is, oh, let me digress a bit. That's, oh, let me digress a bit. That's from the desert story, from the story about the desert. Let me digress a bit. And it ends it with, his name was given as Isifu Bator. I think I was to leave this sentence to another place, to its proper place. I think so. But, okay. Then I come back now to the desert story. Pardon me for the mess. Okay. Then, paragraph. Under this rocky story, we drank enough washed down and got our plastic water containers filled again, and off we left, never to come by any similar water source. Never to come by any similar water source. Oh, time is down. Okay, let's see. Okay. So should we stop there or should we go? Okay, let's pause here, viewers, and then we continue from there. Never to come by any similar water source. We pause here and then we continue in our next video. Thank you very much for watching. Ilalika ibaba. Au revoir.